The folks at Lunyee were very kind in sending me out this CNC router, but the question I want to answer is this the right CNC for an absolute beginner? Because I have never used a CNC router before. So in this video, I want to take you through the unboxing and the building of the machine. Then I want to take you through my first project and what software I used and how I used it. Then at the end, I'll give you my thoughts on the product and whether it might be right for you. Let's get into it. This is the box that the CNC came in, and I was immediately impressed with how well this was packaged. Every component was securely separated by generous layers of foam, and overall, unboxing was very satisfying. Okay, on to assembly, and it starts off pretty easy with the bottom frame. You'll note that the two frame pieces with feet on them have a countersunk side and a non-countersunk side. So we want the countersunk sides facing outwards so the screws fit in nicely. I loosely screwed these together and then took them over to a dead flat surface to tighten up everything, ensuring it wasn't crooked. Next up, we're attaching the two sides, or as they're called in the instructions, the Y1 and Y2 axis modules, with the Y2 axis module having the control box attached to it. These simply slide onto the frame and are screwed in place with two screws on each side of each axis module. So far, overall, I found the packaging exceptional. Everything was packed very nicely, and so far putting it together is going pretty straightforward. My only slight bit of criticism is this control box and this wire thing already come pre-attached to the Y2 axis module, and it's not a big deal, but as you're moving around you're wiggling these wires, and it'd be nice if you just had a plug. You could just plug them in once you're ready. With the two axis modules in place, the control box can be screwed into the Y2 axis module, making sure to route the cables through the cutout. Next up, we can attach the MDF spoil boards. Now these both have a nice clear label indicating their correct orientation, so it's pretty hard to muck that up. One small tip for putting things together like this is to leave your screws a little bit loose until things are relatively in place. And that's not just for this, it's for anything like this. You can see the clearance here is very, very tight, and I haven't quite got enough room. So I'm going to loosen these screws off now and just settle everything in place. With the MDF bed in place, I can now screw it down with the 12 provided screws at both the top and bottom of the unit. Now we can attach the X-axis module, which slides nicely in place in between the Y-axis modules. There are a few wires that need to be routed through the cutouts of the Y-axis modules before everything can be screwed in place with 4 screws on each side. With the X-axis module attached, we can take the drag chain module and screw it into the uprights of the Y-axis module too. I know I'm saying X-axis this and Y-axis that a lot, but I'm trying to use the same terminology as used in the instructions, just in case it's useful to you sometime in the future. This CNC comes with these handy metallic acrylic baffles, which are good because I don't really have any dust collection going on here, and they do stop a good amount of dust from pouring out of the machine. Now it's time to attach the motor, starting with the spindle holder. I start by loosely attaching the spindle holder with the supplied screws. Then I slide the motor into place, and when I'm happy with its positioning, I tighten up the screws. We're almost done. The last major task is to attach all the wires. Looking at the instructions, this can feel a little bit daunting, but all the cables are well labelled and in most cases can only be plugged into one thing. So I just took my time going through each set of cables until they were all done. The only time I got a little confused was because one of the cables had pulled into the drag chain a little, and so I couldn't see it and was confused as to why one of the cables appeared to be missing. Lastly, we simply need to insert the collet into the spindle and tighten it out a bit in place, and we're good to go. As you can see so far, putting the CNC together has been pretty straightforward. I've been pretty impressed at how easy it was. So the next thing I need to sort out is what kind of software I'm going to use to run this. It does come with some software, but it's very basic and I basically didn't even bother trying to use it. Instead, I got on the internet and looked around at what options I had. In the end, I decided to use a piece of software called Easel, mainly because it was free and it looked fairly easy to get started in. Using the software to control the CNC was easily the most intimidating part of the process. So I want to take you through step by step how I used Easel to create my first project. The first thing to do is to head over to the Easel website and download and install the drivers for Windows. You'll need to create an account with Easel, and after you've done that, you're ready to set up your machine by clicking on Machine in the menu at the top and then selecting Set up a new machine. For the machine type, select Other and then select Lunyee for the make and 440 Pro CNC for the model. Then, making sure the CNC is plugged in with the USB cable, hit Confirm Settings. You will then be presented with a page to ensure that you've got your wiring on your CNC correct. So go ahead and click on the X and Y buttons and the up and down buttons, making sure that the spindle on the CNC is moving as you would expect. For spindle settings, I left it on automatic. And for testing the spindle, make sure that turning the spindle on and off actually turns the spindle on and off. The Lunyee 4040 Pro does have homing switches, so go ahead and enable homing and start the homing sequence. And you should see the spindle moving to the X, Y and Z extents of the CNC. After the homing sequence is complete, it'll ask you if you have a Z probe, which we do, so let's go ahead and set it up. Start off by plugging the Z probe into the control box and then attaching the clip to the router bit. You will then need to confirm that the clip is attached, and you will be asked to touch the probe to the router bit, at which time the contact circle should turn green. One important part I don't show here is you'll need to go into the advanced settings and set the actual height of the probe, and this specific one is 19mm. With the machine set up and in a new project, we need to set the size of the material we're using. The most important value to set here is the thickness, as getting this wrong will mean you either don't cut deep enough or you can severely damage your CNC bed. I'm going to be making a card holder for my board game table I made in my previous video, and I've drawn up an SVG for this earlier. So all I need to do now is import it into the workspace and rotate it to match the orientation of my workpiece. Next up, I need to tell the software what to cut and how deep. So I start by selecting the outer line of the card holder and tell it to cut outside the shape path. Next up, I need to tell it to cut the 5 card slots. So after selecting all 5, I ensure the cut path is set to clear out a pocket, and because I obviously don't want to cut all the way through, I set the depth to 10mm. And now we're ready to carve by hitting the big carve button at the top right of the app. This will take you through a bunch of steps, starting with ensuring that you have the correct thickness and material type selected. It will then ask you to ensure that the material is secure and that you have the correct bit selected. Next, it will ask you to set the 0 point, and I found doing this manually a bit easier by simply moving the router bit so it is touching the bottom left of the workpiece. On to the final screen, and you can click the Raise the Bit button. Then, presuming the bit is raised, click on the Turn the Spindle On button, followed by verifying the spindle is actually on. And that's it. Click the Carve button, and the CNC should start carving out the project. Now that I've gone through how the software works, let's take a step back and look at setting up the workpiece on the CNC. The CNC comes with 4 metal hold down clamps that work pretty well, so I started by clamping the workpiece down on all 4 corners with these. As I mentioned earlier, I found it much easier to set the 0 point of the CNC manually by dragging the spindle into position and then winding the Z axis down until the router bit is just touching the workpiece. Now, if you remember back to the app, we tell the spindle to raise up, turn on, and then begin carving. And that's it, my first CNC project cut out and ready to be processed. And I use the word processed purposefully here because while the CNC is pretty cool, it is just another tool in the chain of the maker process. So let's get into what we need to do to finish off this card holder. You'll notice that the CNC left some small tabs connecting the card holder to the workpiece. This is on purpose because if it didn't, the card holder would come loose and bump up against the router bit, causing a bit of mayhem. So our first step is to cut the card holder free using a sharp craft knife. Next up, we need to give the entire piece a quick sand to get rid of those tabs and any curly bits still attached to the wood. To give the piece a bit more shape, I take it over to my router table and add a chamfer to the edges on both sides. These card holders are to slot into my board gaming table that I made in a previous video, and they're held in place by magnets, so now I need to drill some holes for these magnets. Classically, I would have made a jig out of scrap pieces of wood to ensure I get the holes drilled in the correct place, but recently I've taken to 3D printing small jigs like this as I find it takes a little less time and can be a bit more accurate. The magnets are going to be held in place with screws, so I need to pre-drill the holes for the screws. After a quick sand, I'm ready to add some finish, and as always I'm using Rubio Monocoat because it's super quick and easy to apply, not to mention it's the finish I used on the table these will be used on. Then with the finish applied, I can screw the magnets in and they're ready for playtime. Now I know this video is all about the CNC, but I was really happy with these card holders and thought they deserved some gratuitous completion shots. And if you're interested in the table they slot into, I'll leave a link to it in the video description. One thing that I hadn't mentioned yet is that prior to the folks at Lunyee reaching out to me, I had already looked into buying a CNC router. Ultimately, I decided not to buy one, and there's two reasons for that. The first reason was price. The routers I was looking at were very expensive, and I wasn't ready to spend that kind of money yet, especially given the fact that I had no experience in the field. The second reason was size. Most of the CNCs I was looking at were bigger than this, and I had no idea how I was going to fit them in this small workshop. So when I was looking around, I hadn't looked at the smaller form factor at the smaller price. Rightly or wrongly, I had just discounted them as something that wouldn't be right for me. But now that I've got one in my hands, I can see that I was wrong. This is the perfect size. I am going to be able to find a place to put it in the workshop. Its price point is much more achievable than the other ones that I was looking at. And ultimately, it does what I want to do. I'm not a big CNC routing house. I just want to cut a few little projects here and there, and this does that perfectly. Does that mean it's the perfect CNC router? No, absolutely not. It does have its flaws, but where it's positioned in the market, I think works perfectly for me. So as far as the review goes, I haven't done many reviews before, so I'll just give you a few pros and cons of what I like and don't like about this, and then you can make your decision on whether it's right for you. So the first pro is obviously the price. It's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other expensive brands out there, and that makes it achievable for me. The second pro is obviously size, as I've already mentioned. This is small enough that I'm going to be able to put it away at a cupboard or hang it on a wall or something. I was really happy with the packaging, and I was really happy with the instructions of how to put it together. You saw that it was pretty easy. I didn't muck anything up. Overall, the construction of it is fairly good. Nothing seems overly flimsy, and it does the job. Now on to some of the cons. I don't love the cable management. I feel like the cable routing and placement could have been better, and this could have made putting it together a little bit better too. Now another thing that I wasn't too happy about, and this could be a problem with all CNCs, I'm not 100% sure, but this did come with some free software, but it was very, very basic. And it looks like, generally speaking, you have to go out and buy software to use CNC routers. Now this was a bit of a shock to me because I'm used to 3D printers and laser engravers, all of which come with their own software that is very good. As you've seen, I did manage to find the free software easel, and that has done what I wanted, but I thought that could have been a better process. Now one thing I haven't done yet, and I'm not entirely sure how to do it well, so please feel free to leave me some comments if you have a clue, is routing a pattern with multiple bits. Now my concern is that I'd route the first part out with one bit, and then I'd change the bit and I would knock the XYZ axis, which you wouldn't need to knock it much to put it out, and then the next pass, the router bit would be in the wrong position relative to the first pass. Maybe there's some way to do that easily with this. I'm not 100% sure. If I work it out, I'll leave a comment eventually in the comments below. Well, that's it from me. I want to say a massive thank you to the folks at Lunyee for sending this to me. It's been awesome. It's been a great experience, and I've been able to make some of the things that I didn't know how I was going to make without them. And if you're interested in buying one of these, I'll leave some links in the video description below. Don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.